On the agenda will be open for public comments before final action is taken. Citizens wishing to introduce written material into the record at the public meeting on any item are requested to provide a copy of written material to the city clerk prior to the meeting date. Speakers must restrict their comments to the item as it appears on the agenda and stay within the 3-minute time limit. All right, let's do roll call.
Member Mingori?
Here.
Member McEwen?
Here.
Member Conley? Here. Member Overton?
Here.
And Chair Clappy.
Here. Excellent. And if you could have me as a participant, I just joined Zoom.
Okay.
All right. So let's move to item E, adoption of the agenda. I noticed on here the conversation about visitlakecounty.com. Were you prepared to talk about that today?
I am.
Okay. Is that something we can add to the agenda?
So, I can't add it, but you can discuss it under areas of focus.
Okay. It is a content item for 2022 in an area we want to focus on, so. Sounds good. Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda as is?
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? All right. We're going to move to item E, public comment. This is the time for any member of the public to address the marketing committee on any matter that is not on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city. The Brown Act, with limited exceptions, does not allow the marketing committee or staff to discuss issues brought forth under public comment. The board cannot take action on non-agenda items. Concerns may be referred to staff or placed on the next available agenda. Please restrict your comments to 3 minutes. Do we have any public comment on Zoom? I see a hand. Bruno, go ahead.
Yeah, so yesterday, wasn't super excited about it, but I think that I should bring this to your attention because maybe you can do something that's gonna be very advantageous. The Board of Supervisors gave $6,500 to CTA to create banners that say things like "Thank you anglers," "Thank you fishermen," things along those lines. And I would suggest that this group be proactive with that rather than allowing somebody to just make it happen, make sure that it's what you want and where you want it. They did talk about working with the chamber over at the visitor center, so I don't know how involved they are, but I at least wanted to bring it up for this group to be aware of it. I'm not sure exactly what's going to come out of it. I was hesitant just for the fact that it's a banner, not a permanent fixture, and that a banner is not going to last forever. But again, maybe you can leverage what they are offering with what the city might be able to offer. But I at least wanted to alert you and let you know that that was happening and that they plan on doing some work within the city of Clearlake with those banners.
I can answer a little bit, Bruno. Colleen Lee has been actively involved in that. I know one of the banners, they asked if it could go up by the Moose Lodge, and it cannot. Apparently the Moose Lodge doesn't own the property right next to the highway. And I know that, that she's been seeking other locations in the south end of the county. So you're right, and the contact person is Colleen Lee at our chamber for that. And we don't have a fence we can put it on, unfortunately. It would be really nice, you know, there's no fencing at our chamber, but maybe at the park we could do something.
What are the dimensions of these banners and how many are we getting?
Colleen would have to answer that, and I don't know if she can, I can text her, hold on.
I think she might be online. Give us
Okay,
a moment.
Colleen, text me with the size of the banners if you have it.
And a suggestion, maybe putting it on the other side of the wall so they can see it when they're fishing.
Off the piers, off the,
I
Yeah.
know that, that, the spot used to do that, they used to have a banner out there,
Yeah,
you know,
and that
just
spot would
welcoming.
might be a good and maybe even on the pier at, Red Bud
Red Bud
Park
Park,
would be a good
yeah.
location. My concern is how many people would tear them down, unfortunately,
Yeah.
but,
Unfortunately, we can't always go that way.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You want me to turn?
I haven't heard back, so if you want, when she texts me.
It's right here.
Oh, she did? Okay. Stephanie has her hand raised.
Colleen?
That's right.
Colleen?
Can you,
Yep, go ahead.
I have two noisy gentlemen here in the, office with me, so I apologize. You were asking the size of the banners,
Size and quantity.
okay, and I was hoping that Bruno might remember since he just heard this yesterday, finally.
There's 20 banners is what their plan is, from what I got yesterday, but I did not get dimensions.
Yeah, but they're large. They're
They
large
have to be very large.
for people to see from the highway.
And I guess dimensions, I asked because are these things that we could potentially string over a roadway? Or are they large rectangles that typically go on a fence or a wall?
Yes, we wouldn't be able to get approval, I don't think, for ones over roadways. They are for the fence line or building.
I have an in with the Masonic Lodge if that property could be used.
Yeah, that would be a good location.
Yeah, we tried for the moves, but their corporation wouldn't allow it.
Yeah, and at the time, just to share with you, you know, we used to put banners across Lakeshore Drive for the Lions Club and everything else.
Years ago.
And I think that, the highway patrol stopped that, they wouldn't allow us to do it anymore.
Well, we've talked about doing, you know, at least the poles across, we've talked about it since I've pretty much been on city council, up there by Foods, you know, doing some kind of a banner thing. I mean, you know, they do it in Lakeport and stuff, there's no reason why we can't do it in our own city.
Just needs to be high enough so that
Yeah.
big rigs can get
Right,
underneath.
yeah,
Right.
that's all, so, I mean, very simple.
Colleen, what's the timeline of deployment of these?
If she's with somebody that's probably taken, that's what's happening.
There was no timeline provided to us. Mainly, I just wanted to make sure you were aware in case you wanted to take part in, how that was gonna be deployed.
Appreciate that.
There is a CTA meeting, I believe she said tomorrow, or Friday, so maybe she can get some answers for you by Friday.
Wonderful, and then let's bring this back, on the agenda for next month, so we can actually, can have a thorough discussion about it.
Yeah, I've got it down on the list.
Excellent, thank you, Bruno. Any other public comment on Zoom?
Stephanie has her hand up.
Stephanie, not public. You're a person.
I was just gonna, I was just
You're
gonna.
here first.
We could wait till not next month.
Right, she was just gonna add to it, I think.
Okay, perfect. A person on the committee, I meant to say. Thank you, Bruno.
She's a person, she's not a public.
Excellent, so if there are no further public comment on Zoom, we will move on to item G, that is business, and that is our discussion areas. Discussion on areas of focus for 2022. I think for future agendas, we can rename this the event marketing plan, just so we have some distinction there, because there could be potential other projects that stem from these areas of focus. So, let me pull up. Alright, so the event marketing plan as was laid out before, last meeting, our homework was to create venue marketing material, which I think we got the bulk of, and I appreciate all of you submitting that. The other homework assignment was grading potential event suggestions so that the city could then take and vet and then come back to us with 2 or 3 or 4 areas that we might want to focus on. So Tina, were you able to take those rankings and organize them?
I sent
Did we-
mine in a long time ago.
I have
Well, I
them.
never did it.
Okay.
I don't think I did. You haven't?
I have.
You have
what was
mine.
She
the
has
last
the
one.
ones that was sent
Yeah.
out.
But I thought there was gonna be more to it, so that's why I didn't.
So did we all rank the events?
I ranked them.
You did?
I did,
Okay.
I did, she
And
did,
I
I
never
did
wrote
not.
it. All right.
Michael
So-
and I didn't, we fell short.
Get that done this afternoon.
No. I was, if you didn't get them yet, that makes sense that we don't have them ranked yet. So let's do this. And did you send them to Tina?
I think I have yours, and then we got some
We got Bruno's in person.
in
Or
person, yeah.
we had Bruno's that we had in person last week.
I thought I sent them to David, maybe he forwarded them to you,
I'll
but,
double check, if not, I'll reach out.
yeah.
Okay.
It was a very confusing form, but I did rank it.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I kinda did some research on, I was trying to do some research on some events that I thought might be good for Clearlake, that's what I was doing.
Well, the challenge we have here is we have a bit of a bottleneck in this process, right?
Mhm.
Because the problem we've had in the past is that we all go off in different directions and we're not hyper-focused on one event. So if we look at the agenda for today, or the proposed agenda for today, would have been to take those 4, narrow it down among this group so that we
Right.
have one that we're focused on, but then start thinking through the buyer's journey, which is really where I think this committee could shine. Because we're putting ourselves in the position of that potential event host, and we're crafting a marketing campaign for them. So without that event grading, we're in a position where we don't have anything selected, we're not focused, and
Well, can I just add something, and
Yeah.
then maybe we can discuss it? And I'm gonna keep going back, I think we still have to focus overall on attractions versus events. However, the event that, we have throughout the summer, which is a big draw, are the concerts in the park. And I think that is something that, for this coming year, we should be focusing a lot on. Coordinating, making sure those concerts are so well received and so well attended that people become, it's something that you come to Clearlake for on those days, you know, and maybe then other smaller events can build around that concert. So if you know the concert is, when's the first one? I think it's in
July 2nd.
July 2nd. So, we know that's the 4th of July. So when's the second one? And then focus on having, instead of competing, focus together to bring people in for possibly the earlier part of the day, and then they stay for the concert, to end. And that way, maybe having lunches here and shopping in the stores or whatever else might be doing. But I think that Tina has worked so hard to get these concerts. That's what I think one of the things we should be building on, because it's already in place, you've already got them scheduled. And then we just take our time to market and get those well attended. And,
Okay.
you know, because other than that, we're coming up with other ideas. And I think you've already got between, that one and, the soapbox derby, I think you've got if we can just enlarge on those.
I'm with you, I think that is a great idea, and I wish that's what we should have discussed at the beginning of the year. And now that we're down this path, I'd hate to then suddenly change focus again, but, we're in a position here where we're not making a ton of progress on this path at the moment. It's up for consideration, I think.
Yeah.
I think for the time being, and for the sake of time, since we only have 30 minutes left, I think what I'll do is I'll stress that event grading, let's get that done through this period, if you haven't been able to do that yet. And then this is a 6-month process. I don't think it's gonna be too onerous. Paris, and what we're doing in this process is laying the groundwork for future things like you discussed.
Right.
So we have to get through this process first before we can start doing it at scale. And it doesn't mean that what you're talking about, having derivative events around the great stuff that team is doing, can't also be done as part of this. We just gotta get to that point. So for the sake of time, Michael, I think another content piece that we were talking about was visitlakecounty.com. I know you put something together. If you want to share that and talk us through it, that would be great.
I brought up the spreadsheet here again, and remind me, the grading it's 1 through 5?
It is.
And 5 would be biggest or worst, because like workload, 5 would be biggest workload, and a 5 for impact would be biggest impact?
So 5 is always to the benefit of us. So in terms of workload,
I could do that.
So 1 would be best on workload? I mean,
so
that was confusing.
yeah, no problem. And I think I laid it out in the email here, but so workloads, this is city workload. So if
Well,
there's
I understand the concept,
No,
but what's bad workload or good workload?
5
Well,
is bad, right?
5 is lots of work.
Right,
no, it's the opposite.
right,
5 is the best
Best
value,
value.
the best case scenario. for
right,
us.
Okay.
so that would be the least workload for the amount of events,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, but best impact would be a 5.
right.
All right.
So something that would take a lot of work, even though it's a great idea, might only come with 3, and that's what I did. There were some of those for 3s, because the impact,
See if I said it to you, because I know I did it, so see if I said it to you.
Okay, I'll get it knocked out. I'm
So
sorry.
just think of it this way, there's 3 categories, we're gonna take the
Oh,
5,
4.
the 3.
Workload, impact,
Oh, yeah,
viability,
we have it.
tourism.
So we're gonna take the 4 categories, if something ranks a 20, that means it got all 5 5s, or all 4 5s, that's good, right? It's just kind of a simple averaging of all the grades, so when you think of these, do we want the city to do a lot of work? No. Do we want the community to have a lot of great impact? Yes. Do we want this to be economically viable? Yes.
Right.
So I think city workload's the only one that's kind of a mirror
right,
to what you might expect.
Okay, so if you have the internet up there, I can show you what I've mocked up. I didn't bother going into some of these details prior. Visit Clearlake.com was purchased a long time ago by a domain investor, and that's not available to us, but I was able to secure the name Visit Clearlake.com with a hyphen, visit-clearlake.com. So if you visit that,
Gotta bring up my panda. It's visit.
Clearlake. Now, we're the only ones that can see this. I actually only built it this morning, last minute, Mikey. So, if any part of this, you want to turn, nobody can find it though. You'd have to know to go to it. I just grabbed some sample pictures, obviously, as we work on this project, you all want to. Have to choose our pictures, choose our marketing language. This is just kind of mocked up. And I didn't even fill out a bunch of the content areas that are available to us. But if you start at the scroll so we can see this top slideshow plan. And you can see I mocked up some words. It plays auto, but you can click the transport button there. And because as I had mentioned, I think the 3 primary things that we want to market our city for to the outside area, greater Bay Area or world, countrywide maybe, is come here for the adventure, visit here, and fall in love and buy a house, or fall in love and start a business. So those are the 3 categories I created of content, and the slideshow mirrors it, and then I started some sample pages there. And then if you click on like move here, adventure, there's just a sample page where we can have links to websites where they can get information about it. We could load an iframe of another website, so we show their content on ours without us doing any work. Or we could create some canned content, and just have some static content on the page. And if you scroll down a little bit, you can see that there is some content areas here that we can utilize. Here, this tabbed area, and any of these we don't want to use, it's a checkbox in the admin area to just turn it off. I just left them on so that you can see that there's some ideas of content areas we could use.
And this is built on WordPress?
Joomla. It's the competitor to WordPress and far superior, far easier to use, and provides some really cool features that we could leverage if we want to do something even more with this than being just a static advertisement. really anything modern you can think of that can be done on the web can be done with this, except Web 3.0, blockchain. I'm getting there.
Any questions?
No, I like the idea, so.
I have to look too, because my husband may have been the one that bought the Visit Clearlake. So let me ask, I'll ask. Because when I started volunteering at the chamber, he bought a bunch of pages, you know, they were $7, $8, so.
Yeah, right.
I can find out if he's one of them that did that.
See, it's registered out of India,
So it wasn't him then.
and the name server is fabulous.com.
Okay,
Yeah.
The registrant is in Australia.
okay, so it wasn't him. So I know he bought several of them for me,
'Cause there's
which
a
we
whole
never
lot of
used.
places that are called Clearlake.
There are a lot of Clear Lakes.
And this
Touching
was, it
Clearlake.
was first registered in 2001. And I think when I looked into it as a domain investor, you know, we could buy it for a lot of money kind of thing. But I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah.
So you mentioned iframes and bringing content from other websites. I know you've been working on the Chamber website, Rotary. Your fingers are in a lot of websites. We had talked a little bit about this, but having a centralized calendar for events for the entire county, is that possible? I know from a communication standpoint, there'd be a lot of work that needs to be done. But could we tie in and have one calendar for the chamber, for the Lake County Chamber, for Visit Lake County, for the city, for this website? Is there one calendaring platform that would allow us to do that all these websites could then tap into?
Well, Google Calendar. Everybody can have their own Google Calendar, and then whoever wants to subscribe to however many of them they want to get to see all those different Google Calendar events on their own phone.
Is there a more what calendaring here in the county is doing the best? So like if I go to the Visit
County
Lake
Chamber is probably
Yeah.
doing the best.
Like
And
County
I don't
Chamber.
know what theirs look like right now under their new page. They went with Web Chamber Master. Matter of fact, if she's listening, today was the first time I was on their page, and it's like, you're kidding me. Because they charged a fortune for this. So I haven't been to her calendar, but what used to be, and I will share with you, this is years ago, they used a different calendar than this. This is Google Calendar, I think.
Yeah, that's what.
And frankly, to me, that is extremely confusing, but I'm old. Maybe for a young person, it is not.
It can be styled in different ways. You can
Yeah.
buy add-on apps that style it.
Style it. It needs to be, and I will
Appealing.
tell you, as I'm working on our calendar for our map ad, every Six Sigma has theirs, and Cache Creek has it. Every single place has their own calendar. It could be so congested.
Well, that's the other piece is, can we then filter it? So if
That's
we have
right.
one master database, could the Clearlake Chamber of Commerce cut down just the things on our side of the lake? Could Middletown do the same? Could Lakeport?
We're trying that right now, just to add, David, the Lower Lake Action Group, and what we've been doing is we've been doing joint meetings, so Clear Lake Chamber joined the Moose joined Clear Lake, we joined Lower Lake, they joined us. We're working right now with doing the same thing with Middletown, and the idea was exactly that. We share all the same data with all the organizations and I'm not calling us we're not, I'm just telling you, my new marketing plan is we're the gateway to Lake County, because we are the gateway to the county, from both 5 and from coming in Highway 29. So I just letting you know, that's been my marketing, and Colleen and I have been working diligently on exactly that type of calendar.
So David, another option to consider, I think the workload would probably be too onerous for most of these people, but an idea is that this website platform that I've started with has the ability to create pages that only specified users have access to and can make changes to. So I don't know if there's a way you can utilize that feature to give these different organizations access to the calendar that lives on the Visit Clear Lake website. But might be an idea.
Well, yeah, so I'm looking at the Lake County website TID puts out, right? And this is, I think, by far the most polished of all of them.
Right.
You look at it, it feels clean, but I don't see an RSS feed, I don't see a way to submit
Very
those.
difficult to post on their page.
Exactly.
Exactly, and that has been
Compared
some of
to-
the,
Oh, I can do RSS.
that has been some of the complaints of the actual people paying into the TID board, is they can't get in, easily and post, make changes to their resorts or that sort of thing. So if I can suggest that, it'd be, that, you know, and that's not us, but just to let you know, cause when I talk to people, that's been one of the complaints, that I've heard back.
Right.
They love the marketing, cause I'm telling, people coming into the chamber, I ask them, it's the billboards, the TID, what they're doing is bringing people into the county.
Yeah.
It is working.
Yeah, I think what I would love to see is a happy medium between the functionality of, say, the chamber site, the Google calendars that we're using, and the attractiveness of the Visit Lake County folks. And I guess, Michael, just because you're an expert in this space, is that possible without either completely re-engineering what Visit Lake County is doing? Have you had a chance to look at the Lake County website and kind of dissect the
Well,
calendar?
no, I haven't, but I am just looking at their code, and it's full of base 64 code, which is like the first clue to either hack or open to hack. So that's interesting. But let me look at the calendar.
Is there a way on the
Events.
calendars to just like somebody could to like click here, you know, like they just click on the day and then instead of having it posted on the calendar like this, that they go in and then they can see a
Actually,
list of
that's what the
City
county
of
chamber.
Clear Lake,
Yeah.
Lakeport, you know, and just have a list where you click on just the day and it comes up with the list of the cities and areas and the events of those days for that day.
Exactly, that's
Yeah.
what the county chamber used to do years ago. So if you went to March, it had every day listed diagonally, and you clicked on the day and then listed all the events underneath it. To me, that was easy, it was clean, just like you were saying.
Yeah,
I'm old, I look at that, that is just like almost overwhelming to me. I hate Google Calendar.
yeah, but I thought if you could just click on the day and go to, and it says, you know, Clear Lake, and the events are
That's
Clear Lake, you know, Lower Lake, events in Lower
that's-
Lake, you know, and have a breakdown where people can go in and just click on that day, go to their area, click on their area and add it.
Oh, so it's a JavaScript calendar. I found it in the code.
So a JavaScript calendar, is that exportable and usable by other entities? Or is it difficult to republish?
Bruno, raise your hand.
Bruno,
on the
Richard.
screen.
She's
Sorry, Bruno, go ahead.
No, Stephanie's had her hand up for a while
Yes.
before me.
Okay, Stephanie, go ahead, sorry. Feel free to chime in.
Well, I was just gonna bring out when Joan kind of brought it up. It used to be that both chambers and other organizations all reported into a central calendar, and that was the Lake County,
It was.
the county of Lake kept it.
Right,
But that was at a time when they had a real honest IT person, who, that was their only job, was
Right.
to keep up the calendar. And that, I think, has long since gone away.
Yeah, I have to,
I'm not an advocate of Google Calendar.
So-
And I certainly don't think, I think there should be a dedicated person that is, or persons that are responsible and are responsible for the content, and everyone should know who that is.
So real quick, David, another idea for the calendars is we could,
County calendar, if you will, and I do agree with Joan that we are the gateway. The city of Clear Lake is the gateway to Lake County.
Okay, we agree that there should be someone. I guess my question is there someone, and is there a tool that exists right now that we could rally around?
so another way that we could display these calendars from all these different websites that are currently running on different platforms is show all of them on one of our pages, each one of them an iframe. So that we just port in everybody's calendar, however they're made, and we just have a page where we see them all. They won't be conjoined, because they're all on different platforms, but that's an easy way to show them on our website.
It's a way. I don't know if it's an easy way. I don't know if it's the ideal way, but you're right. It's a way.
Would you just be able to click on Clear Lake or like
Yeah,
No.
could do that too. I could create it so that you have a list of the different places and you click on it and that calendar opens, or close it and see the next one opens up.
Cause I was with you, with the ideal one would be one joint, you know, for everybody. But I still think it's better that if there was a way to just click on the date and have it broke down per either north or south or Clearlake and Lakeport, and, you know, if there was a way to, but people would still have to be able to enter their information, because we're never gonna be able to have somebody that's going to be able to sit and do this all day long.
Well, I keep reminding myself, the focus of this website is to market our city.
Right.
So I don't know
Right.
that we need to have calendars of anywhere outside of our city.
Yeah, I guess it's a bit of a tangent. You know, I was more
That's the
asking from a technical perspective. Bruno, you had a question or a
So
comment?
I have a comment and then I guess a comment. But first one is, it really looks like Stephanie's on a witness relocation program as she's just in the shadows. We're gonna have to give her a ring light.
There you go, a little bit better.
There, how's that?
Thank you. You didn't have the muffled voice, so it didn't feel like it, it looked like it. But my second one is, I think you do have a partner here that hasn't been discussed, and that's Lake County Blue. They want to be involved. They want to have that positive outlook of what's happening in the county. And if you go to their calendar, it's specified by type of event. Is it free? Is it arts? Is it community? Is it music? And maybe we can ask them to partner up with us and be able to work on a calendar that does help us get exactly what we want. And I think that they're very open to that kind of partnership because they want to make an impact in the community.
I totally agree, Bruno, totally.
So who's the
Since
person
that
on
is their business, that might be a good way of doing it. And he does, like he says, he does one weekly calendar and then he does a monthly calendar.
Would you at the chamber scrap your current calendar if multiple organizations decided that this is our source of truth?
I'd do anything, I don't like our calendar. I hate the Google Calendar, I'm sorry.
Good perspective. I'm willing to take a lead on chatting with them. Bruno, if you wanna join as well, since you
I'd be
suggested it.
happy to be part of the conversation. I think I love the fact that they have event types.
Yep.
And that way we can really select what events we want to see be transferred and translated over. And it could have a link to their normal Lake County Bloom site at the same time, which is a bonus for them to get people to go to their site.
Yeah, if they can generate ad revenue by a ton of clicks, while also doing an incredible job for the community, I think that's a net.
Yeah.
So, if,
I like that idea.
let's, can we add to the next agenda, a report?
Well,
on-
can we ask them to be guest speakers here?
Potentially, yeah. I think, Bruno and I will chat with them. We can report back on that conversation next meeting. So we'll leave a live item there to talk about that, and then I'll pitch if they wanna be a guest speaker as well. I like that. Back to the website, any other questions or comments about, the mock-up that Michael put together?
Well, I do. If we're gonna move forward with this project, I'd like to have a committee to work with, to generate and choose the pictures and ad copy. I mean, I'm happy to do it all on my own, but I'd rather have a couple of.
Well, you've got a lot of pictures here
I was gonna say,
already.
the
that-
city has tons of pictures
Yeah.
that we've had people submit over the
Yeah,
times. Maybe it'd be
definitely.
time to look through those and see if we can use any of them.
But it would be a big help to me, because how I like to work with my paying customers is, they create the content, I build it, so
And
that would help.
I feel like the content we're gonna be creating as part of the marketing plan can feed right in there. So maybe we can put a bit of a pin in this, the content side for a few meetings. If we focus on the calendar piece first, getting that aligned so that there's a ton of value here. Concurrently, the marketing process, creating content for that will happen, and then we can pull from both of those elements to start populating the site. Does that sound like a reasonable plan?
Well, I guess I'm concerned about the focus being on the calendar, because this isn't, an activities website so much, this is a marketing website to market the city of Clearlake to the wider Northern California community to come here and either visit, buy a house, or start a business. And I get it that people will visit here if they see that there's an activity going on that they want, but it seems like, well, if they think they might wanna visit here because they saw how great it is to come on our website, they might search out activities for themselves to do. I don't know that our website needs to be the activity portal.
The reason why I said we're focused on the calendar, because the content process is gonna take time, right? And I just wanna make sure that we're not saying we want this launched next month and then build a subcommittee and you're not getting the content you need for it, so.
I think the content's pretty simple.
Okay.
It's just, I got 3 pictures in the slideshow, maybe you want different pictures, I'd just like to have somebody to work with to help make these decisions.
So I'm thinking like on the, like homes, buy a home, buy a house, are we gonna like talk to realtors about maybe pitching up a little bit of money to be connected to our website? Why can we not
Well,
sell
this is certainly
space?
something that was in the back of my mind, if our
Why can
committee
we
wants
not
to
sell
have,
space
start earning
so that
some
we
money
can
for
make
itself, we
Because we
could do
need
that.
money, we need money, the marketing committee needs money, so is there a way that we could, we
Oh.
might have to talk to the legal aspects of this,
Yeah,
but,
I'm not sure.
yeah,
how
we
that
would
would
have to
be
talk to Ryan about it and Alan, so,
But
yeah.
I just wanna, remind everyone that we are working with, retail strategies to put together that overall city brand marketing kind of plan, and, we could possibly tie all of this together. And I'm not sure what step Alan is at with retail strategies, but I feel like they're getting close. But that's something that, I can let him know, and maybe you could have some input on at the next meeting.
That would be great.
Head back to what you want to accomplish, the calendar, I'm happy to do anything I'm tasked with, but I guess I'm a little unclear on exactly what I would be doing, because all these calendars out there are on different platforms and different websites, and
Yeah, it's more.
I don't think we're gonna get everybody together to build one master calendar.
But,
I think that needs to be researched further and just go with the Plume, because I think he's right.
Yeah.
To have him do the calendar right now, I think personally, to get the page launched, like he's saying, is probably do that, because you can add to it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I wasn't suggesting you put together the calendar, I was suggesting the
Yeah.
research and conversation happen. If we want to, as part of the action items for this meeting, put together a subcommittee around this, I'm all for that, if anyone's interested. in doing it.
I'm so consumed right now.
I mean, I can work with you, I mean, we can set a date and we'll work around, and,
I don't
See
foresee
what
this taking a lot of time,
Yeah.
I just like to have somebody to work with to
Yeah,
make these
yeah.
decisions.
right.
And then, so you have 2 committee members, if you wanna bring in a third, someone from the public who might be interested in this piece of it, and then that can be, cause you can't have more than 2 to have conversations outside
Yeah.
of this meeting. So that's actually perfect, if you 2 wanna
Yeah.
take the lead on it,
Mhm.
bring in a third, or, if you have any other folks who are interested. And then we can talk about progress next month.
So why don't you and I to meet, and then we'll decide like what it is that we're gonna be needing to do, make a plan, and then we'll start working on that plan, okay?
Okay, I'll get on your calendar after this meeting.
Excellent.
So I do have a question though. This is for you. No, actually, it's a marketing plan. I was seeking bleachers for the to have at the fish weigh-in. And I thought they would be nice to have, portable bleachers where the city can move them to different events, like when we have the concert in the park. I talked to the school and, their bleachers are being destroyed right now. They have bought bleachers for the baseball fields, but they're permanent, they're not movable. The movable bleachers are on their way to the dump, probably as we're speaking. And I
It's too
did.
bad, because what's really wrong with them?
Oh, they're not safe,
Okay,
okay. Now the frameworks, possibly I asked maybe if
well, that's what I'm thinking. the
somebody
frame
would
part.
take the framework and we can maybe build something, but we'll never have them by April, but that's not the point. Does the city have money if I don't even know if anybody rents these portable ones. I went to look to buy them. You can buy portable, bleachers, but they're about $4,500 for brand new ones that are ADA approved.
Yeah.
Cause you have to have them approved for city.
Do you know how much it is to rent them and how long you wanna?
Well, we'd need them for the 4 days, and I don't even know if anybody in Lake County rents them. I'd have to find out.
Yeah,
Yeah, we would need to know that.
Okay, because I just thought, especially this fishing tournament over others, the Saturday and the Sunday, Saturday is the college tournament. It's all colleges that have fishing teams will be here from Northern California. The exciting one for me is the one Saturday. It's all the high schools that have fishing tournament kids will be here. So Reading, Shasta, Folsom, and talking to the tournament guy, all the schools in the Bay Area will be here that have fishing clubs. So we're talking a lot of parents, a lot of kids.
So are we gonna put something on? What are you gonna
Well,
do that day?
I'm working with Tina, our meeting got canceled yesterday, but the other thing they wanted to know is, I guess in the past, the city provided portable water, and brought in a water truck to fill in the fish tank. I guess, cause the fish go into a big clear tank.
Did you put that in the application?
I did not, I just heard about this the
Okay,
other
you
day.
wanna talk with her then after the meeting?
Yeah, so those are a couple of things. Is there money in the budget to help with something like that?
I mean, the marketing committee doesn't have a budget right now.
That's what I'm
Okay.
saying.
That would have
Can
to
we
go
sell so we can have a budget?
Yeah, we sell advertising space on the website, that would create a revenue
Well,
stream.
especially if we're gonna, like, if somebody wants a house for sale, we have if somebody's looking here to buy a house, and we have something there, and they click on it, and we can have the realtors where they would connect their websites. I mean, that's business for them, but maybe we can generate some funding from them to give us a little bit of money to put their links on our websites.
How can we find out if that's legally allowed?
It's called Ask Brian tomorrow.
Yeah,
He's gonna be here tomorrow, so we can ask him. So,
Excellent.
I don't see where that wouldn't be legal. I mean, I don't think there's anything saying that Clearlake can't charge for advertising, but we'll find out. So, because to me, that just seems like a way we could generate money for just the marketing committee, so that we have some funding, because we don't have anything, so.
Alright, so that sounds like an action item, tomorrow, Michael, you and Joyce can communicate. If you wanna add a third, please do, and then for next meeting, if you have some action items for us, give us a breakdown of where the project stands and what you need from us.
Very good.
Alright, moving on to item H, city manager and committee member report. Clerk, do we have anything from the city?
The city manager did not pass that, any information to me in this packet, so I don't think so.
Excellent. Any comments, Stephanie, any comments from you? Anything to report?
You did, wait a minute.
You're muted. She's not looking. There,
There.
yeah, there.
I can't remember from last month, my life is just so, anyway, I did tell everybody, I think, that, April is off, and
For the
so
kite.
is May for the kite fly. But I am in touch with, Anthony Eichel, who is the pro, and he is to get back to me and let me know in July or August, and obviously we would not do it, 4th of July weekend, because there's too much, there's already stuff going on. But, what day we could expect to have, and that way we could get vendors and things like that, and have a real good activity.
So Stephanie, you missed our event committee meeting Monday. And Bruno, I guess, signed off. We're planning a kids' day, and the kite festival would be part of that. Tim Biasotti wants to work with Bruno and have a whole thing for kids before they go back to school. So it'll probably be that first weekend in August.
That would be perfect. I will, as soon as, I'll try and get a hold of Anthony and see if he's come up with a date
Right, that was the projection on in our committee meeting. You missed a fun meeting.
Okay.
Any other reports in the chamber?
Just to tell you that I have the most awesome board at the chamber right now, and we are, they're driving me crazy. I get texts clear up until after my bedtime. I've come up with this idea. We have a joint county and chamber dinner with our newest member at the Moose Lodge on April 5th. I've asked Alan's wife to be our speaker to talk about small business administrating. I'm waiting to confirm that, but anyway, and Tim Biasotti is gonna barbecue for everybody. So I think it'll be exciting to see the two chambers working together on this project, so.
That's
Yeah.
the way it should always be.
Yeah.
Any other reports?
I just, I did a few phone calls, cause I was just trying to see about, some events that we might be able to have here, cause we were talking about what kind of events could we have and who could we get to have them, put them on. And I know we didn't want to, but I got one response from like the circus. So just to let anybody know that if they wanted to do a circus, it's about $15,000 for them to come.
The circus problem is coming up with a location.
Yeah, but the Renaissance people, they were pretty much like, we're not really doing anything right now because of the COVID, so they basically said they would kind of look into seeing what their future is going to be. Cost, of course, of everything is going up, so they wouldn't give me any type of particular cost of what they would have charged, even if they, I was just trying to get some ideas of costs so that we could put out, like, maybe somebody wants to do it, or you hear somebody wants to do it, we kind of have an idea,
Right.
Well, here's somebody you can contact, here's some information, because I thought maybe sometimes it would be good if the marketing committee could, and, be able to help people if we hear them say they want to put on an event, a certain type of event, maybe some of these events, I know the Renaissance Fair would bring in a lot of money, because you could have booths inside there that are, like the town, you build a town, basically. I've been to them and they do really well on those. My daughter-in-law was really involved in that stuff, and they made a lot of money off of those things. So I was really thinking that if we could get something like that here, somebody to do something like that, but they're just not willing to give up any cost yet because they don't know how the
Right.
situation's gonna go. But the circus guy got back to me and was pretty informative, so. And I know we had somebody that put on a circus, I don't know who did it.
The chamber
it the
put it
chamber?
on,
Okay.
and I reached out to them at the beginning of the year. Two things that happen, they will tell you, California's not friendly because they can't have animals. And so, because they cannot have animals in the state of California, they're not really excited about coming here. The other thing that we discussed is the amount of space they would need. We weren't sure if we could provide it. That's why I didn't pursue it any further.
I might check into more things, smaller things like the Circus Soleil, but a smaller venue.
Right.
I just thought it'd be nice to have costs to where if somebody, as we talk around and we see like, oh, this would be a really good
Right.
event, let's see who can put it on, and we have some information for them. So I just started calling them around to some of these things, but with the COVID one, a lot of them weren't answering their phones. I did
Right.
finally get a guy
Right.
that emailed me back and said, I'm kind of out of it right now because of the COVID, but looks like we'll be going back in. I'll put something together for you. So it's, during this whole time, I think a lot of people they just stopped everything.
A lot of stuff died
And there's
from people I contacted.
They're just starting to kind of weave their way back. So hopefully I'll hear some more, in this next month. I think it would just be good for us to have some ideas of how to put these on in case we see somebody that's like, it's something that we want. I think a Renaissance thing would be really good. We put on a small one here, and if the wind hadn't taken us away, it was doing really good until the wind came up and just blew everybody's tents over. But I think we can do it better. I think it could be better. That was just a little thing we threw together, but I think we could do a really good one, and I think that could brings in a lot. Renaissance fairs bring in a lot of people. So if we can get an organization or even a company to just come in and do it, I think we could fill our hotels and our restaurants and stuff like that, which is what our goal is.
You just talked about something, very frustrating to add to what she just said. Remember, you had us do the surveys of accommodations. So for the fishing tournament, was checking out our accommodations. We have one campground essentially
Yeah.
that is not, cause the others are kind of almost all gone permanent. El Grande is about the only one that still is a place that is open to vacation. And so does Clearlake Cottage, I think, but he never responds to any of my contacts. I've been trying to get him business, and frankly, I'm tired of trying to deal with somebody that doesn't answer their calls. So, right now, almost every motel is booking to, locals. And so it's very difficult. So, right now, El Grande has 89 rooms, if you wanna think about how many hotels we have.
Right.
Vista del Largo, he's pretty much full every weekend. And the cabins he doesn't have permanent in there are his main house, and he's booked solid. The one thing that we don't have a good listing on, this is for TID, are the Airbnbs. There are a number of Airbnbs here. I don't know if they're collecting TOT tax, but they are not very cooperative on availability, because they don't want anybody to know they're doing Airbnb, probably illegally. So I found what was discouraging, just to share, you know, they had almost 6,000 people out at Six Sigma this last weekend. And the day of our weekend of our fishing tournament, they have another bigger race coming in. So my concern is, I've got maybe 200 boats coming in here. Am I gonna have places for all of them? So, you know, we can have these events, but we better start really working with.
That's why you really need that hotel built.
Yeah,
A couple of
really
those.
trying to make sure
Yeah.
our hotels are, you know, and I understand when you have sewer bills and everything else you gotta pay through the winter, they're gonna rent to keep the people, you know, keep their costs down, because they still have the same fees, whether it's wintertime or summertime when we have tourists, but I'm just
Six
sharing
Sigma
with you.
event last weekend did pack the Best Western.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Vista Largo was full of bikers too, I think, in there. People that were part of it, so, and that has me concerned, just to
What's
share.
the place for the campsite?
It's Clearlake Campground, that's it.
Okay. So Garners, I think, have some. the
Some,
old,
but, yeah, not, yeah,
Yeah, and unfortunately, it would be nice to be able to say we could keep them here in town, but that many people, I don't think that's.
that's what
gonna
I'm
be
getting
the
at.
reason.
So it is kinda concerning, we're talking about events when we really don't have, you know,
Places for them
to really stay, that are welcoming. I've got family coming in the end of May, and I was gonna book with Clearlake, the cottages, and I can't even get him to answer my phone.
Yeah, that's not.
So why would I book with him? So I'm gonna find an Airbnb or something. But you know what I mean? Matter of fact, if your place is available on the 18th of May, I might just, you know, because you're just down
'Cause
the
it's
street
right
from
there,
me.
yeah. that would
But
be-
I'm just, that is angering when I talked to Travel Lodge, and he's very cooperative, he wants to do it, but I understand his plight, he's gotta pay, if he gets 6 people off the street, he's gonna take those, he can't help it,
Yeah.
so.
So we have the Travel Lodge, we have the Best Western, we have the
Lamplighter,
American-
and you've got America's
American
Best,
and Lamplighter,
and and Clearlake
and
Cottages,
the Clearlake Cottages.
that's it.
So, yeah, that's not, it's not too many, but
Well, Vista del Largo, he has,
And how about people with adventure vans? Where do we have for them to park? Cause that's kind of a huge.
that's what I'm
movement
saying,
now.
that you Clearlake Campground, that's it.
Oh, I see.
That's exactly what I was getting at, is
Well,
there's
is the-
not a lot of
Does
places.
that RV park outside of Lower Lake, rent spaces?
No,
Well, that's an issue
that's
too,
what I was
'cause
saying, we need here is a RV.
right.
I'm putting
So I didn't
on
mean
the-
to bring a negative
Yeah.
in, but I'm just saying, all of a
Negative,
sudden,
positive, you gotta have that.
we're talking all of a sudden all these events, and if we don't have places to house them,
Yeah,
I'm putting on a trade show this weekend in Placerville. I'll be sleeping in my adventure van in the casino parking lot.
So it sounds like a future agenda item is Joe's
Yeah.
gonna open up a hotel. No?
well, we have two potential coming in, it's just the when,
Yeah.
you know, it's years down the line, but,
I'm
And
trying to
we
get
do
money
now.
to buy Howard so I can bring my son home.
yeah.
Any other future agenda items? I know we added a couple
Yeah.
over the course of the meeting, but anything else?
Can I just confirm what I've got?
Yes,
So that
please.
I'm sure it's clear. So did we want the, event grading to be a specific item, or will that be part of the
That
event
is,
marketing?
that is a part of the event marketing plan.
Okay, and then a separate discussion on visit-clearlake.com,
Okay,
is that correct?
correct?
And then a separate discussion on creation of an event calendar, or are those two related?
Well, I think,
We can have
You-
that separate.
cause you were
That
gonna
is
talk to,
the,
yeah, Bloom.
just the follow-up from our meeting that we intend to have with the Bloom.
Okay, and then, are we discussing the board of supervisors donation of banners as a
Yes.
separate item?
Yes, please.
Do we wanna be reminded about the question if we can sell advertising?
That would be
Well-
part of the visit dash Clearlake.
Yeah, cause
agenda
it's
item.
about the website, so yeah,
That's something that
Yeah,
we can talk about.
yeah, 'cause that's about the website, so.
Thank you. All right, is there any other future agenda items before I adjourn?
I think that's good.
Money,
What's that?
money.
Oh, you have some for us, thank you.
No, I think money, you know, does Tina have a budget for the concerts?
I'm sure she does for the concerts.
Okay.
But those conversations would be, I think, separate from this committee
Yeah.
at the moment. All right, everyone.
That would be between Tina and Ellen, the
Thank you.
finance director, so. Okay, did you wanna set a date to?
Is
Sure.
Tina, do you know if she's available?